Good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Show with Tristan Scaria, your host, Tristan Scaria. Tonight, we have two special guests, one of which does face-to-face schooling and online schooling. We will be finding out which one's better. Let's have a look. Hello, I'm here with Arlen Oni, freshman at Texas Tech University, and I'm here to ask a couple questions about his experience here at Texas Tech. So, Oni, do you participate in online or face-to-face schooling?
I do face-to-face.
Alrighty. How would you rate your experience here at Texas Tech?
It's not bad. I mean, the face-to-face, it's kind of like a standard class. Going to high school was pretty much like the same thing. So, there's no big difference with it. You're just in a class with more people.
Okay. And how often a day would you say you spend on school?
Including my class, including going to class?
Yeah.
I'd say probably in between 5 to 8 hours a day.
Fine. How much time do you spend on homework?
Over the course of in a day, probably 2, max 3 hours.
2 max 3 hours?
Yeah.
And when you do your homework, what are your studying habits like? Do you do any studying at all, or?
When I study, the way I study, I usually study through doing my own homework, so that I don't, because I work, so I don't want to add on extra stress by doing homework and studying. So I kind of kill two birds with one stone by when I do my homework, I study at the same time, and I try to get everything done as early as possible, so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week.
Yeah. All right. And if you don't mind me asking, what are your grades like? Do you get?
I have 2 B's right now, and all my other classes are A's. So.
Okay. Smart kid, huh?
Yeah,
so what, if any, challenges do you come across with your face-to-face schooling?
Yeah, nothing really.
Nothing? That's good, that's good. And finally, if you had the option to switch styles of teaching, would you? To go from online to, or face-to-face to online, or vice versa, you know?
Online, it's definitely helpful because, you don't have to leave your room, so it's easier for that. And but I like face-to-face because it's easier to ask questions, because for one of my classes that I do online, you can't really ask questions because the teacher just goes through everything.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
All right, well, thank you for your time, Arlen Oni.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Hello, I'm Tristan Scaria, and this is Daniel Espinosa. I'm here with a freshman from University of Memphis, and I'm here to talk about your experience and how online schooling has impacted your daily schooling life. So, do you participate in online or face-to-face schooling?
Online.
All right, and how would you rate your experience online?
I'm gonna go with a 7.
A 7? Okay.
Yes.
How often a day do you spend time on online schooling?
Probably around 4 to 5 hours.
Okay. And how much time do you spend on homework, if you do any, and how long?
Probably around 2 hours every day.
2 hours every day? Okay. And what are your studying habits like?
Study habits, due to online schooling, since there's always a due date, and it's more spaced out instead of coming back to class and turning it in.
All right.
It's me more time to do my stuff, so I do. It makes me procrastinate more.
Okay.
So most of the time, I always wait for the last minute and I always do it.
All right. And if you don't mind me asking, what are your grades like?
I finished with 3 A's and 2 B's.
Okay, that's good. What, if any, challenges have you come across with online schooling?
The Zoom calls were really much of lectures.
Uh-huh.
It was most of the time other students asking repetitive and personally not smart questions sometimes.
Yeah.
And really waiting for people to just ask and ask and ask instead of actually learning anything.
Oh, so
Which
it's less
without Zoom
learning.
time, yeah, without Zoom time, I could have done more homework instead. So I would just sit there listening to people just ask
Ask
questions. That
questions. Okay. And last question, but if you had the option to switch styles of teaching, would you go to like face to face or would you stay with online? And why?
I'll probably go back to face to face, because at the end, like in college, I'm more intrigued, like wanting to learn more, like I want an education just for my job in the future.
Hmm?
So I feel like face to face would really help me with that. And plus, I'm a guy, like I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I need like to fail and like talk about it and like always make mistakes. I'm not a guy that just like reads it once and learns it, or watches one video and that's it. Like I need to like make mistakes in class, like, and then ask questions
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
to interact with my teacher.
No, I understand that. All right, that's cool. I thank you for your time, Danny.
I
All
guess,
right,
bro.
see ya. Thank you for tuning in to the Good Morning Show with Tristan Scaria, your host, Tristan Scaria.